You are not just losing focus. Your brain is being trained every single day to avoid focus. And the strange part is, it does not feel like training. It feels normal. You wake up and check your phone. A message, a notification, a short video, a headline, a comment, a clip, another clip, another clip. Before your day has even started, your brain has already been pulled in 10 different directions. And then later, when you sit down to do something meaningful, work, study, reading, planning, creating, your mind refuses to stay there. You open the laptop. You stare at the screen. You try to begin. But within a few seconds, something inside you starts looking for escape. You check your phone. You open a new tab. You suddenly remember something unimportant. You feel restless. You feel bored. You feel mentally tired, even though you have barely done anything. And then the guilt starts. Why can't I just focus? Why am I like this? Why does everything feel so difficult now? But maybe the better question is not, what is wrong with me? Maybe the better question is, what has my brain been adapting to? Because your brain is not broken. It is responding to the environment you put it in. And modern life has created an environment where focus is no longer the default. Distraction is. For most of human history, attention was shaped by slow things. Conversations, work with your hands, long walks, books, waiting, silence, boredom. Your brain had space to settle into one thing. But today, your attention is constantly being interrupted. Not once or twice, hundreds of times. A notification interrupts your thought. A message interrupts your mood. A video interrupts your boredom. An algorithm interrupts your intention. And slowly, your brain starts learning a new pattern. It learns that whenever something feels slightly hard, you can escape. Whenever something feels slightly boring, you can stimulate yourself. Whenever something requires patience, you can switch to something easier. This is where the focus problem begins. Not with laziness, not with weakness, but with training. Your brain is always learning from repetition. If you repeatedly give it fast rewards, it starts expecting fast rewards. If you repeatedly switch tasks every few seconds, it starts expecting constant switching. If you repeatedly escape discomfort, it starts treating discomfort as danger. So when you try to focus on one thing for a long time, your brain resists. Not because the task is impossible, but because it feels unfamiliar. Slow work now feels painful because your brain has been living in a fast reward world. This is why reading feels harder than scrolling. Reading asks your brain to build meaning slowly. Scrolling gives your brain meaning instantly. Reading requires patience. Scrolling removes patience. Reading asks you to stay. Scrolling teaches you to leave. And the more you scroll, the more your brain begins to prefer content that asks nothing from you. No effort, no memory, no deep thinking, no commitment. Just quick emotional hits. A funny video. A shocking headline. A beautiful image. A dramatic opinion. A piece of gossip. A quick lesson. A satisfying clip. Each one gives your brain a tiny reward. Not enough to satisfy you deeply, but enough to keep you going. That is the trap. You are not getting real satisfaction. You are getting just enough stimulation to avoid stillness. And stillness is where focus begins. This is why modern boredom feels different. Boredom used to be empty space. Now boredom feels like withdrawal. The moment nothing is happening, your brain starts searching for something. Anything, a screen, a snack, a message, a song, a video, a small interruption. Because your brain has forgotten how to sit in low stimulation. And this matters more than people think. Because focus is not just about productivity. Focus is how you build a life. You need focus to learn. You need focus to think clearly. You need focus to solve problems. You need focus to make decisions. You need focus to build skills. You need focus to understand yourself. Without focus, your life becomes reactive. You do not choose what matters. You respond to whatever grabs you. That is why attention is so valuable now. Apps are not just competing for your time. They are competing for your mind. Every platform wants one thing from you: stay longer. Not because it cares about your growth. Not because it wants you to feel peaceful. But because your attention is profitable. The longer you stay, the more data you give. The more ads you see. The more the system learns what keeps you hooked. And these systems are not random. They study your behavior. They learn what you pause on, what you skip, what you replay, what makes you angry, what makes you curious, what makes you insecure, what makes you compare yourself, what makes you stay. Then they show you more of it. And over time, your attention becomes less like a tool you control and more like a button other systems can press. This is why you can open your phone for one simple reason, and 30 minutes later, forget why you picked it up. You did not consciously choose that. You were pulled. And every time you are pulled, your ability to direct your own mind gets weaker. Not permanently, but gradually, like a muscle you stopped using. The problem is not that you use technology. The problem is that technology is now shaping the way your brain expects reality to feel. Real life is slow. Real progress is slow. Real relationships are slow. Real learning is slow. Real work is slow. But your phone is fast, instant, colorful, endless. Personalized. Always new. So when you compare real life to digital stimulation, real life starts feeling dull. Studying feels dull. Working feels dull. Cleaning feels dull. Sitting with your thoughts feels dull. Even talking to people can feel dull if the conversation does not move fast enough. And this creates a dangerous emotional pattern. You start believing that boredom means something is wrong. But boredom does not always mean something is wrong. Sometimes boredom is just the doorway before depth. When you begin a difficult task, the first few minutes often feel uncomfortable. Your brain wants to leave. But if you stay, something changes. The mind slowly settles. The task becomes clearer. You start making progress. You enter focus. But most people never reach that point anymore. They leave too early. They quit in the uncomfortable beginning. And then they tell themselves they cannot focus. But they never gave their attention enough time to land. Focus is not instant. Focus has a warm-up period. And modern technology has made that warm-up feel unbearable. This is also why motivation feels weaker now. People often say, "I have no motivation." But what they really mean is, "My brain does not feel rewarded by slow progress anymore." Because motivation depends on reward. If your brain is used to quick rewards, slow rewards feel almost invisible. Learning a skill takes months. Building a body takes months. Growing a business takes years. Healing your mind takes time. Improving your life is slow. But one video gives you stimulation now. One notification gives you stimulation now. One scroll gives you stimulation now. So your brain keeps choosing the thing that pays immediately, even if it leaves you empty later. That is the cruel part. The things that give quick stimulation often leave you more tired. And the things that build real satisfaction often require effort before they feel good. So your brain starts choosing comfort, while your life quietly loses direction. Not because you are stupid. Not because you are weak. But because your reward system has been trained toward the immediate. And once you understand this, shame becomes less useful. You do not need more self-hate. You need better awareness. Because if your brain was trained into distraction, it can be trained back into focus. But not through extreme advice. You do not need to disappear into the mountains. You do not need a perfect morning routine. You do not need to delete every app and become a different person overnight. That usually does not work. Because if the change is too extreme, your brain rejects it. The better approach is simple. You start lowering the amount of instant stimulation you give your brain. Not all at once, but deliberately. The first step is to stop feeding your brain the strongest stimulation at the weakest moments. That means do not start the morning with scrolling. Because the first thing you do in the morning teaches your brain what kind of day to expect. If your first input is fast, emotional, and chaotic, your mind enters the day already scattered. You do not need a perfect morning. Just give your brain a little space before the phone. Even 10 minutes matters. Let your mind wake up before the world enters it. The second step is to create small periods of single tasking. Not 3 hours. Not a full day. Just 20 minutes, one task. One screen. No phone nearby. No switching. No background video. No checking. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is not failure. That discomfort is your brain asking for the stimulation it is used to. Stay a little longer. That is how you retrain it. The third step is to let boredom return. This sounds simple, but it is powerful. Stand in line without checking your phone. Eat a meal without watching something. Walk without constantly playing content. Sit for a few minutes without filling the silence. These moments look small, but they teach your brain something important. Not every empty space needs to be filled. And when your brain becomes comfortable with empty space again, focus becomes easier. Because focus requires the ability to stay with one thing, even when it is not instantly exciting. The fourth step is to reduce switching. Switching destroys attention more than people realize. Every time you move from one app to another, from one task to another, from one video to another, your brain pays a cost. You feel busy, but mentally you are scattered. So instead of trying to do everything, choose one thing and finish a small part of it. Do not aim for perfect day. Aim for one clean block of attention. That is enough to start. The fifth step is to stop using your phone as emotional pain relief for every feeling. This is important. Many people do not use their phone because they need information. They use it because they feel something they do not want to feel: boredom, loneliness, stress, anxiety, uncertainty, awkwardness. The phone becomes a quick emotional escape. But the more you escape every feeling, the less capable you feel in your own mind. So the next time you reach for your phone, pause for 3 seconds and ask, what am I trying not to feel right now? That question alone creates awareness. And awareness creates choice. You may still use the phone. That is fine. But now you are not unconscious. You are seeing the pattern. And once you see the pattern, it loses some power. The goal is not to hate technology. Technology is not evil. Your phone is not the enemy. The real problem is unconscious use. When you use technology with intention, it can help you. When technology uses you, it weakens you. That is the line. And most people are crossing that line every day without noticing. They are not choosing distraction. They are living inside systems designed to make distraction feel automatic. So if your brain cannot focus now, do not only blame yourself, but also do not excuse yourself. Both extremes are useless. The truth is sharper than that. Your attention has been trained. And now you have to train it back, slowly, honestly, repeatedly. Not through motivation, through environment, through habits, through lower stimulation, through small promises kept, through moments where you stay, even when your brain wants to leave. Because focus is not just something you have. Focus is something you practice. And every day, your brain is practicing something. It is either practicing distraction or it is practicing attention. There is no neutral. The videos you watch are training you. The apps you open are training you. The mornings you repeat are training you. The way you respond to boredom is training you. The way you handle silence is training you. The way you escape discomfort is training you. So the question is not whether your brain is being shaped. It is. The question is, who is shaping it? You or the systems fighting for your attention? Because your future depends on your ability to stay with what matters long enough for it to change you. And that will not happen in a mind that is constantly being pulled away. So start small. Give your brain less noise. Give your attention fewer exits. Let boredom become normal again. Let slow things feel valuable again. And when focus feels hard, remember, that does not mean you are broken. It means your brain is adjusting. Stay a little longer. That is where your attention begins to come back.